welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to have a serious conversation of the earning potential of a home shop CNC router. But before we really get into this, I will just warn you that rude and negative comments in the comment section down below will not be tolerated and Google will ban you. Polite conversation, and you can disagree if you don't agree with something, that's fine. Comment section is there for general conversation, not bullying or anything else like that. So I will tell you straight away that it is possible to make a turnover of $1 million per year from your home shop. There are a lot of variables that will determine that outcome. For a comparison, now I do not produce any work whatsoever. I just produce videos showing you how to make your own CNC for a hobby or a small business if you like. I will give you all the information how to use the programs and how to do the job, and give you some inspiration in art. That's what I do. But many of you out there are interested in starting a business and want to know before you invest how much you can earn. Like I say, it depends on a lot of variables. It depends on what part of the world you live in, whether you live close to a city, or whether you live out in the back of beyond and your nearest neighbour is 50 miles away. You know, there's a lot of variables. Now, if you live in a, shall we say, a Western nation, you have a greater capacity for earning. But it really, these days, it doesn't really matter where you live to a point. There are selling capacities on the internet. However, the best money that you can earn is right on your own doorstep. But if you sit around in your workshop drinking tea or coffee, waiting for the work to come through the door, you're really not going to make an awful lot of money, because it very rarely just walks into the doorway. You have to go out there and look for it. You have to advertise your capabilities in local fairs, local magazines, local papers, leaflets. You have to start making items to show off your capabilities. You will see in many of my videos the types of work that you can put out. This particular machine, living in the area that I do in Australia, this has the capability of earning over 100,000 a year. And this is a home-built unit. If you don't think your personal capacity to manufacture something like this yourself, I would advise approaching AVID CNC. They will deliver worldwide. They have a machine the same size as this. And it comes in a part kit form. All the axes are built. They're all very solidly built. And it's just a simple job to screw it together. The electronics, it's just a plug and play virtually. You run the wires and plug them in. There's very good videos that they produce that show you exactly how to put it together. So they make one about this size. They call it a 3636. they make a 3624, and they make a 2424. That's their small home shop machines, but they make much larger machines than that as well. With an AVID CNC machine of this size, you can probably make somewhere in the region of $250,000 a year. But like I said, the work is not going to come walking through your workshop door. You have to go out there and do the legwork and find it and advertise your ability. Now, the type of work. Now, you see me do 3D carving. It's per piece, you're going to get people to maybe, so some of my shields or 3D birds about this size, you might get 120, 150, maybe possibly $200 for it, if it's finished well. The problem with 3D carving is it takes a considerable time on the machine to manufacture it. And then there's some hours of work of hand finishing. But you do that type of work in between doing, other work. And that other work is things like flattening slabs of timber, live-edged timber tables, really fetch good money. And a CNC router is ideal for flattening timber, raw timber. You can charge $150 an hour for that particular type of work, which is good money. It's done relatively quickly, and it's good turnover. The absolute best money for a CNC router is making signs. Now, you need programs to make the signs. The best bang for the buck on the market right now is Cavco Maker. And the next step up from that, if you want to start doing some actual creation of 3D objects yourself, is Cavco Maker Plus. And then the full Cavco program. Incidentally, underneath this program, I will leave a discount code for you for any of the Cavco products. So, signage, you can charge up to $200 a square foot. That's 300 by 300. Okay? So if you wanted a full sign ability on this machine, you can, if it's made of really good wood, you can charge $1,000 for it, for the capacity of this machine. Now, to be able to do that, that would be a wood inlay process, where you have a darker wood background and you V-carve it out, and then you put a slab of lighter wood on your machine and do a negative of it and glue the one into the other and surface it off. It's quite time consuming, but you get out and you can charge for the amount of work that you put in. So $1,000 for a large sign of good wood is quite possible. And up to about $200 per square foot is fairly reasonable in good wood. Now, if you go into the exotic woods, such as hewn pine or teak or something like that, then the cost really goes up. There are also companies out there looking for smaller entities to make parts for them, or even prototype. That is excellent money as well. Those sort of jobs, like I say, they don't just walk through the door. You have to go and look for them. They're out there. You have to do the legwork yourself. Don't rely on others. You will see on my CNC router videos of me making a shield or something like that, and you will see sometimes in the comments people saying, oh, it's all very well making that, but you have to sell it. You know, you're not going to make 250 of those and sell them all. Well, of course you're not. You make about 5 or 10 and you put them in stock. Then you move on to something else. You make something different. You're not going to make 1,000 pieces of one particular item and sell them for a good profit. At least it would be very, very rare. You have to build up a catalogue of products that you can produce. And invariably, you will meet a customer that requires several different ones. And they might want to put their own twist on it, their own edge. They might want a little bit of signage put in it as well. This is how you start a business off. And you will need to get a name within that particular style of business or trade. And another thing too, if someone tells you that they have a perfect formula for making $1 million a year, not just in CNC routing, but any business, they're either lying to you or they're delusional. You get out of a business what you put in. It's not just the machinery. It's the legwork that you have to put in. And not only that, ultimately, the knowledge of CNC routing and how to use the programs behind it all. And a big factor is the type of machinery that you're going to be using, the type of CNC router. This has the capacity of earning approximately 100,000 a year if you're prepared to do the legwork. If you are not confident of making something like this yourself, incidentally, the last 16 videos have been devoted to manufacturing this. And the plans are available on my Patron pages now. AVID CNC make a CNC router the same size as this. Very, very good machines, very reliable, and they have the backing behind them. AVID CNC. They also make larger machines, which have the capability of processing full-size sheets, and they will custom make a machine for you. Now, to earn $1 million, now you've started your small business and you've been at it for maybe a couple of years and you're outgrowing your machine, you need to go up the ladder with your CNC router to possibly a full-size machine with a automatic tool changer. This cuts down vastly in processing time and labour. And I would suggest to go to a company such as Phantom. They will also customize a machine for you. The farther you go up the ladder with the machines, the more outlay that you're going to have to put out. For instance, a machine like this, if you build it yourself, is going to cost you approximately $4,000. The AVID machine this size is going to cost you approximately $10,000. Now, to earn $1 million, providing you've got the work coming into your workshop, You can do a number of things. You can buy multiple smaller machines, but then that limits you to the size of material that you can get on your bed. If you go to a production machine, such as a Phantom and a good model, you're going to pay $35,000 for it. And I hear you say, oh, $35,000 for a home machine? If you have the capability of making $500,000 or $1 million, then it's a very small outlay, isn't it? But the potential is there. And certainly now, with the world as it is, smaller home shops are getting busier. So I hope you have a greater understanding now of the earning capacity of a CNC machine, whether it be a modest size like this or a larger machine. But the companies that I have mentioned throughout this video, I know are very, very reliable, and I would not advise importing or purchasing any of the Chinese derived CNC routers, because 98%, to my knowledge, of the CNC manufacturers coming out of China do not meet the new Western standards for build quality and definitely electrical. So my advice is, if you don't have or you don't feel you have the capacity to make one yourself, turn to someone like AVID CNC, or if you want a production machine, a large production machine with automatic tool changer, then you need to go to someone like Phantom. So, to answer the question, yes, it is possible to make $1 million turnover from your home shop, with the caveats of good machinery or a good CNC router, putting the hours in, not just sitting on your backside drinking coffee waiting for work to come through the door, going out there and finding it, making lots of samples and getting the word out in sort of pamphlets, leaflets. Get the word out there that you're capable of doing this type of work. Go out there and find the work from bigger manufacturers who are looking for smaller shops to make parts or even prototyping. Very good money in prototyping, I know. I was an inventor for 40 years. So I hope that's been a help to you, or a guide, but bear in mind, there is no one strict rule for any one part of the world. You are the best person to know what the possible selling capability is in your area. There's an old saying, you get out what you put in, and it is absolutely true. So, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to become a patron to my channel to help the channel along, that would be a good thing to do as well. And also don't forget, below this video there are some discount codes down there for all Carveco products. 20% off Fusion 360, 2.5% off anything on Banggood, and I think there's a couple of others as well. So, thank you for joining me, and it's bye for now.